Welcome to the Comic Books Hub. Today we will take a look at top 10 most powerful Marvel villains. Over the years, Marvel has created some incredibly powerful villains, with the most heartbreaking backstories in media today. Let's rank some of the most powerful villains in Marvel. At number 10, we have Null. Null is the eldritch god of darkness and the person who created the symbiotes. He has despised Celestials since they brought light into his kingdom, and has always gone out of his way to kill anything and everything they made. The ancient being constantly underestimates those he considers beneath him and never fights using the full extent of his power, instead using his symbiotes to do his dirty work. His face is set in a constant sadistic smile, and if he doesn't get what he wants, he is more than likely to throw a violent and destructive temper, tantruming his ability to manipulate the eldritch darkness that existed before him. He created All Black, the Necrosword, all the symbiotes, several symbiote dragons, and the Void Knight. He is immortal. He possesses superhuman strength, durability, and the ability to shapeshift. Throughout his existence, Null and his symbiotes have terrorized by devouring civilizations, extinguishing stars, and smothering entire planets in eldritch darkness. When he finally invaded Earth, he had the symbiotes still loyal to him, seized control of all the heroes that had come to fight him, and encased the Earth in the living abyss. The combined efforts of Thor, Eddie Brock and Dylan Brock eventually took him out for good. Null, who has yet to debut in the MCU, is one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel Universe. At number 9, we have Onslaught. This armored form of sentient psionic energy was created through the combined consciousness of Professor Charles Xavier and Magneto. After Magneto ripped the adamantium from Wolverine's bones, hurting him so severely that his healing factor struggled to work, Professor X had finally had enough and shut down Magneto's mind for good. During the exchange, all of Magneto's anger, lust for vengeance and grief merged with all the negative feelings Professor X had been repressing over the years and became a separate personality inside the telepath. The personality awakened after anti-mutant humans killed a young mutant outside the Xavier Institute for Higher Learning. Onslaught possesses the combined powers of Professor X, Magneto, Franklin Richards and Nate Gray, making him one of the most powerful beings in Marvel. During his tenure as a villain, he possessed and killed several mutants and heroes before Nightcrawler finally killed him. At number 8, we have Loki. The god of mischief hails from Asgard, but was born initially as a frost giant in Jotunheim, adopted by Odin. As he and Thor grew up alongside each other, Loki became highly jealous of Thor, who the people of Asgard treated very differently, valuing his warrior strength over Loki's skills with sorcery. As a result, he caused many problems for the Asgardians and was banished and punished several times. However, his meddling eventually led to the formation of the Avengers. As both a god and a frost giant, Loki possessed several abilities, including superhuman strength, durability and longevity, sorcery and even allspeak. He is also an extremely skilled combatant with a genius-level intellect. Loki has been brought to life in the Marvel Cinematic Universe through Tom Hiddleston, and has slowly become more of an anti-hero than a villain. However, the comic version of Loki has done some terrible things. After sacrificing himself for the greater good, once again, Loki managed to manipulate the newly reborn version of himself and eventually killed him when he finally took control of his body. He has even caused the end of Asgard and once turned Thor into a frog. While not one of the most evil things he's done, it was still cruel. At number 7, we have Magneto. Eric Magnus Lenscher is an extremely powerful mutant and will do anything to protect his species. When he was younger, he suffered at the hands of Nazis and discovered his abilities at the cost of his daughter. As a result, the people around him began to fear and hate him, and this constant rejection soon led Eric on a quest to conquer Earth so that mutants could exist as the dominant species. He has been deemed the most powerful mutant alive, an Omega level compared to the Dark Phoenix. He always wears a helmet to shield himself from potential psychic manipulation. He possesses magnetokinesis, a type of telekinesis that allows him to manipulate metal and even the electromagnetic field of a planet. His powers have no measurable limitations. Magneto is also an expert in several fields of science, including genetic engineering and mutation, and has designed several air and spacecrafts over the years that would make some of the most brilliant minds in Marvel proud. One of the worst things he has ever done was use a paperclip to shred the insides of a scientist who created the mutant Sentinel hybrids to kill mutants. At number 6, we have Kang the Conqueror. Several people have taken on the alias of Kang the Conqueror, and many alternate versions of the character interact with one another. Still, the original Kang has always been Nathaniel Richard, a descendant of Reed Richards or Dr. Doom. Originally hailing from the relatively peaceful Earth 6311, Nathaniel Richards was born in the 30th century in a reality where humanity never suffered through the Dark Ages. As a teenager, he briefly encountered a future version of himself and swore he would never become Kang the Conqueror, instead taking on the identity of Iron Lad. Unfortunately for Nathaniel, that path to becoming Kang was inevitable. Bored of his own time, he soon stumbled upon a time machine belonging to Doom and decided to travel back to ancient Egypt, where he became the pharaoh Rama-Tut. After his reign as pharaoh was disturbed by the Fantastic Four, he tried to return to his own home, but found himself in a war-torn 40th century, from which he would eventually obtain his iconic armor. He quickly conquered the New World, but while ruling over it, he often thought back to modern Earth 616 and all the heroes there, desperately wishing to defeat them. Due to his many time-traveling adventures, Kang possesses a superior level intellect and is politically savvy. Moreover, thanks to his advanced weaponry, he is a very skilled combatant with an indomitable will, able to take on several heroes at once. Kang always goes back in time to ensure that the younger version of himself will always go on the path to becoming Kang the Conqueror. Considering that Kang is one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel Universe, his debut in the MCU signals a huge shift in power in the cinematic universe. At number 5, we have Ultron. Initially created by Hank Pym, Ultron rebelled against his creator, making Pym forget that he'd ever made him. Instead, he immediately began improving his design, upgrading himself several times. Every time Ultron is defeated, he has always come back somehow as a new and improved version of himself, even more bent on beating the Avengers. He's gone through so many upgrades over the years that people have lost track. After merging with Hank Pym, he gained a cyborg body, having both robot and organic properties. His constant upgrades have given him great power, including super strength, tractor beams, technoforming, and the ability to enter other planes of existence, which he achieved after getting his hands on Pym particles. The worst things he has ever done include killing millions, while merged with Hank Pym in the name of the Avengers, and taking over several cities. One of the worst was Slurenia, which he took command of before wiping out most of the human population in 3 hours. The Battle of Sokovia in Avengers: Age of Ultron was based on this event. At number 4, we have the Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff is the twin sister to Pietro Maximoff, aka Quicksilver, and one of the apparent children of the mutant Magneto. When she was born, she became a conduit of chaos magic. This allowed her to become an incredibly powerful sorceress later in life. After Magneto saved her and her brother, they joined the Brotherhood of Evil, but quickly left due to a disagreement with Magneto about the way he ran things. She joined the Avengers, received training from fellow witch Agatha Harkness, and found an arch-nemesis in the demon Chthon, the possessor of the Darkhold before Wanda. During her time with the Avengers, she fell in love with Vision and married him. Against his wishes, Wanda used her magic to impregnate herself with twin sons. Unfortunately, the spell used to create the boys was broken, and they were erased from existence. Unfortunately, this happened around the same time that Vision was dismantled. She is an insanely powerful individual, and one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. Wanda has an extensive amount of power outside of her ability to wield and manipulate chaos magic. She can do anything from conjuring force fields, raising the dead, and changing the weather. The trauma of losing her boys and husband led her to attack the Avengers twice, reshape reality, so that she could be with her boys, and rid the world of most of the mutant population. At number 3, we have Apocalypse. En-Sabah-Nur was born in ancient Egypt and was the first mutant in the second generation of mutant kind. His clan abandoned him at birth due to his appearance, and he was raised as a nomadic warrior. The Celestials recruited him as Apocalypse and enhanced him by boosting his power to a godlike level. He was worshipped as a god by many different cultures through the centuries. To prolong his lifespan, Apocalypse would seek out powerful mutants he could use as host bodies and lie in a regenerative slumber while guarded by his descendants. He has superhuman strength, reflexes and durability, and psionic manipulation, which gifted him with telekinesis and telepathy. He also has super genius intelligence and possesses the ability to manipulate celestial energy. To help him during his tenure as a villain, Apocalypse created the Four Horsemen from 4 powerful mutants, the likes of which would bring about the destruction and eventual end of the Earth. However, the worst was when he turned Angel, the founding X-Men and the team's beacon of hope, into the Horseman Death, and one of the most dangerous enemies the X-Men had ever faced at the time. At number 2, we have Dr. Doom. Dr. Victor Von Doom is the monarch and supreme leader of the Kingdom of Latveria. When he was younger, He was scarred and now wears an iron mask and armor to hide his face. Not only is Doom one of the most brilliant minds on Earth, but he is also a mighty sorcerer, making him a potential candidate for the title of Sorcerer Supreme, able to go against even Doctor Strange. As a young boy, Doom swore vengeance against Mephisto, who he believed was responsible for his mother's death. He and Reed Richards were peers at university and often pranked each other. He became obsessed with developing the machine that would allow him to free his mother from the clutches of Mephisto and ignored Richards when he pointed out miscalculations in his invention. The experiment exploded on Doom, forever scarring his face and getting him expelled. From then on, Doom blamed Richards for his mistake and swore vengeance against him. Doom has done several truly horrible things throughout his reign. Still, two of the most evil acts he ever committed were when he shamelessly murdered his childhood love to obtain greater power than he possessed, and when he threw Reed and his son Franklin, an innocent child, no less, into hell. And before we show you our first place, please leave a like, comment who you think will be first place and subscribe for more content like this one. At number 1, we have Thanos. When Thanos was born, his mother tried to kill him, driven mad when she first laid eyes on the hideous baby. Soon after this, the cosmic ghost writer intervened and tried to raise Thanos, hoping that his influence would change the future of the Titan. But unfortunately, his efforts were fruitless, and he became the thing that would inspire Thanos' bloodlust in adulthood. As a teen, he fell in love with killing and would go on to murder several Titans, including his mother, as he tried to discover why he was born the way he was. These became the first murders ever recorded in Titan history. As he got older, Thanos began to do everything in his power to earn the affection of death, even destroy his entire planet. Thanks to his eternal and Titan biology, his ability to synthesize cosmic energy and the many bionic amplification he performed on himself, Thanos became so powerful that he was eventually deemed a Category 1 life-ender. He possesses godlike strength, superhuman agility and reflexes. In addition, he becomes virtually indestructible when wielding the Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity Stones, which provide him with incredible amounts of power on their own. And with that we conclude our list. Thank you if you stayed until the end and have a good day.